podcast, the place for everything but silent. I'm your host Isaiah, and we're here for our ball game. We're here to talk about Big Brother 20. Oh God, wrong seat. Big Brother Canada 11. Listen, I've been podcasting like
we've had a week off.
Yeah,
I think it took me a little rough.
It's crazy. It is crazy, but I'm here with the Bounce Checks crew as usual. I'm here with Katie. Katie, what's going on?
Not too much. Excited to wrap this season up. There's a lot to talk about. I'm excited.
All right, and I'm also here with Josie. Josie, what's going on?
Good. I'm excited to talk about Big Brother. So much has happened in the last week. Just the entire experience for me, but also the game. So I'm excited to talk about it with y'all. I feel like we haven't had the OG crew in a bit, so
I know we haven't.
Good.
Yeah. Now, just for disclaimer, Amal, she was planning on coming on with us today. She did have to cancel last second, but we're gonna catch up with her at different times, so it's all right. But first things first, Josie, you've had quite a month. You went on the behalf of Silent Podcast to do the finale. You got to watch the finale. You got to do backyard interviews. So walk us through that. How was your experience with all that?
Oh my goodness. It's always kind of been a dream of mine to watch Big Brother live and then to walk in the Big Brother house. And I got to do 2 in the span of a specific amount of hours. It was just insane to me. The crew was so nice and so cool. Me and Chanel, who came with us, who's also part of the Silent Podcast crew. Hi, Chanel. We sat beside some of the interns too, and we got to talk to them and their experience. And overall, you could tell that there's a family, and the way we were treated too, it made me feel at home. I spoke to Arissa a few times, Queen. Y'all, when Arissa spoke to me, I said, "Girl, what?" She was saying some really nice things. I said, "Bestie, stop! You're making me blush." It was fun, and it was an immersive experience. It's one thing to watch it at TV for sure. It's another to experience it live and see everything, the inner workings, the reactions there live. Obviously you don't see the entire show when you're watching it at home. Even jury reactions to specific things. Sometimes they pan to specific jury members. But I was looking at Miss Anika most of it. She was shaking her head the entire time. It was good. Kuzi gave great reactions. It was fun. I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Thank you, Global. Thank you to everyone who let this be a possibility. It was an amazing, amazing opportunity. And I can't wait to talk about maybe the behind the scenes things y'all missed. So I'm excited to fill y'all in, but I'm very thankful and appreciative.
And Josie, you made us so proud with the interviews. You did an amazing job. You were such a natural. You were besties with everybody. It was amazing.
I don't know. It's just, I guess it's the Twitter bestie me. I don't know. It just happens.
All right. Now, obviously, on the viewer side, there's a lot going on within the show. Finale. We finally have our winner. We have Ty as our winner. What's going on, guys? Obviously, Ty has gone through a lot. Top to bottom. How do we feel about Ty's win?
I mean, he earned it. He earned the win more than anybody else in the house. I think he earned it. I think leading up to the finale, especially after we spoke to some of the jurors, I think we knew the writing was on the wall that if Ty made it to the final 3, he was going to win and win pretty handily. And he did. And I think he won it in a way that is kind of, it seemed, people say oh, comp beasts, whatever. I'm not here for the comps, but what he did was so impressive. He won how many vetoes in a row? 6 vetoes in a row? 7, 6. I mean, that's impressive, and it's really not easy to do. And he got himself there on his own, and he went from being the villain of the house after Zach left to being the one that everybody wanted to work with, and it was impressive, and he had a great story. So shout out to Ty. I know he's not everybody's favorite, but I think towards the end, you can't help but root for the guy. He played an impressive game.
I mean, honestly, we talk about old Big Brother and how people miss it. I'm sorry. This is old Big Brother, baby. It don't get more old Big Brother than that. A villain winning? Let's be serious. We haven't had that in a bit. We haven't had, I'm trying to think of all the winners. I don't think there's one winner. I mean, depending on where you
Jackson,
side with the whole Kevin thing.
He's a villain.
That's a menace. I'm talking about the US. in Canada history, I don't think there has been a villain. Like, I think the only person you could technically, Kevin Martin, but even then, he wasn't really a villain. He was just like, he had that force against him constantly, and it just depended on what team you were on. Spoiler: I was on Team Dimitri, and I got, you know, it is what it is. Great player, he did the thing, and I can appreciate a Kevin win. And I think it's the same with Ty. I think Ty controlled it. He said it. I mean, he could have said it better, in my opinion. Oh, that's why in my backyard interviews, I was like, "Were you trying to say that you were playing the middle?" During his final speech, but yeah, like I think he did a great job. He controlled it. He got people out. He used the POVs, and he manipulated it. He would lie. He played Big Brother. If you don't respect it, I mean, you have. I feel like you have to. It takes a lot to win. It takes a lot to be in the final three. It takes a lot to win. And if the jury crowns you as the winner, there's no way you can say that someone is not deserving, because the jury controls at the end of the day, and that revolves around jury management. So y'all can say whatever you want about Ty, but he played the thing and he played the game and he won 8-1.
And you have to kind of look. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, Josie, it is very old Big Brother in the way that he was like, he lied to Claudia, he lied to Anika. Like, that makes good TV. That's fun to watch. And like, yeah, maybe that makes him kind of an ass, but like, it's fun. It's fun to watch a heel. He was a villain that like was entertaining to watch. And he, in reality, you know, I think there's a lot of messages on Twitter and a lot of posts on Twitter about the kind of person that Ty is. Remember that we didn't see feeds. We remember that we see an edited show. We didn't really see him do anything so bad that he deserves a lot of the comments that he's getting online. Like, everybody needs to take it down a notch. I think, like, yeah, was he a little arrogant? Sure. Did he talk to people crazy a little bit? Sure. But he wasn't like, from what we saw, we didn't see somebody abusive. We didn't see, it was not Jackson Mickey level. So like, I think everybody needs to just take it back a level. He played a good game. What can we say? He deserved it.
Yeah, no, I like this season in general. I mean, we'll get to the whole review in a second, but Ty as a winner, if there was like a top list of people who could represent the season, like he's definitely one of them, in my opinion.
Sure.
Like, this is a very chaotic season. Like, when I think of the season, I think of Satina, I think of Kuzi, I think of Daniel, and I think of Ty. And I think Ty
No
is right
hope?
up there. No,
No Zach?
no, I don't. but you know, I think Ty is really good representation for this. You know, a lot of people don't like him. You know, obviously because the edit we received, and you know what we saw on dailies and all that fun stuff. But I'm gonna use the classic Big Brother alumni excuse that this could finally be applied. We did not see everything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm gonna go, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. But now the guy won the comps that he needed. You know, I know he was very big on like his social and strategy game, and I'm like, I don't know, but no, he did the thing. You know, he did a good job. I would like to see him back at some point if they did a All Stars, because it's been a while since like I had a villain that I enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the moments where like he's in the room like, oh, I know I'm going on the block. I don't need to ask to not be nominated, but I'm gonna dust all y'all asses. Like, that was crazy, bro. You know, or like I think of even Ty. I mean, if he wants to talk about like his social game, I guess at the beginning, like, yeah, he had that. Everyone was saying, I want Ty as my number one. Ty. Obviously, that went out the window. But you know, he did. Like everybody was like, I want to work with Ty at the beginning, and obviously that when the whole Zach thing happened, like that was gone. But just to see him win comp after comp after comp, it was crazy, you know. So I enjoyed it. And if it wasn't Kuzi or Satina winning this, I was full ready for a Ty win. So, you know, I got what I wanted, and I'm satisfied. I'm happy with this end result. I can't say the same for everyone else, but yeah.
I mean, to your point about Ty's social game being out the window, technically it came back because everyone was in an alliance with him, the Shady Bunch, the Renee Claudia alliance. Like, yeah, his social game sucked at one point when it was like him and Zach out like that midweek. I don't know. It feels like the season feels so long ago. I don't know if it's like early week or like earlier on the season or like mid-season, but it comes back because everyone and their mom is having an alliance with Ty. I mean, you know, even Daniel saves Ty with the power of veto. I mean, at some point, you know, you have to give credit where credit is due, and the social game was there. I mean, it honestly, originally, from first glance, I was like, I don't know if I want Ty to win. But I can't. One thing about me, I'm gonna look at the facts. Okay, the facts are laid out in front of you. He played a good game. Like the social game was there, the strategy was there because he pulled people with the POV. He lied when he needed to, and boom, he had a power. Like he had literally a walkway to the final. Like you can't argue with logic whether or not you like Ty personally or not.
Yeah, he definitely dominated. And I think the week that it all started to change for me, I think it probably was, I think Zach really brought him down in the house. I think Zach's attitude really rubbed off on Ty in a negative way. And I think a lot of the things that Zach did, Ty got roped into it just because of how close they were in the house. So I think that automatically gave people a bad taste in their mouth just because of Zach's attitude. But I think the week that turned around for Ty for me, when I was like, okay, this guy's actually kind of fun to watch, was the secret HOH week when he was just going off in Santina and Santina was fighting with him. Like, I was like, this is actually fun, Big Brother. Like, it's chaotic, it's funny. He's a jerk, but it's funny. Like, he's not being offensive. It's just funny mess. And you know, I think you could say whatever about the social game, but when we interviewed Renee, and he called her bestie in her exit interview. And we asked her about that. She's like, we've been besties from the beginning. Like, we really love each other. And I'm like, okay, we're really not seeing the full picture here without the feeds because we can't even really comment on his social game because we did not see what his relationships looked like in the house as much as we saw like a Daniels, for instance. So we don't really know what a social game looked like. And it seemed like him and Renee, from what we saw on the show, were never close. And she was like, oh no, we were like besties from the beginning. And I was like, okay, this to me shows like we really have no clear picture on what's actually going on and what these relationships look like. So that was pretty eye-opening for me. And I think, you know, he didn't go up on the block every time he could have gone up on the block. Even toward the end, when he clearly needed to be the one to go and he should have been on the block, every opportunity to get him up there and get him out of the house if anybody wanted a chance to win and they didn't do it. I don't know if that's credit to him or if it's just the rest of the people in the house don't know how to play the game. But either way, it worked out in his favor and he deserved the win.
Yeah, and just to add on to it, you know, like a lot of people talking about like how bad of a person he is. I'm like, look, guys have to have a distinction between like game and then like real life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like obviously he had moments where like he was annoyed, like the whole hope thing he was getting in his face. Okay, whatever. 9 times out of 10, if Kuzi did that, y'all would not have cared. Y'all would be like, get her, queen.
Yes, go queen.
All that. Get out of my face. But look, the cast, they're all hanging out still. Obviously, no one by this point, people have been like, this person's a bad person. Have been calling people out. They're all hanging out with each other still. Everyone was talking about how him and Claudia aren't going to work out. Obviously, we don't know the answer to that, but they apparently are still in the same place right now, like under the same roof, like. Let it play out before y'all make all these assumptions. You know what I'm saying? Like it was getting a little weird with some of these things I saw on social media. I am gonna say that. I'm not gonna say what specifically. Y'all know who y'all are.
I will say Ty is like every Toronto guy ever, like specific guy ever. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like when I see Ty talk, sometimes I'm like, if he was talking to me like that, like I would be, you know, sometimes like fighting back in a sassy way. Like I don't let, you know. But it's done in a way that's playful, and that's the thing is that, you know, people who are watching this may not come from Toronto. They may not even come from the country, so they're not used to seeing some of the interactions that are being played out. And so that's why it's like I would rather people go off of how other house guests are feeling rather than what they think they're feeling or what they're feeling in their regards if they're in their shoes. Because let's be honest, like there's very much a culture difference in Canada. We're not all the same. It's the country itself, it's completely different, even in the same province, like states. I'm assuming everyone, let's say New York, state of New York, not everyone from New York is the same. Like yeah, you have common things, but like you're not the same. So it's pretty much the same.
It's a big state
concept. Yeah, so it's just like I wish people would look more into how people feel, the people who are experiencing it, rather than, you know, just saying whatever. Because one, we don't really know these people. These people are what we see on TV. Like, yeah, you can feel like you know them, but you don't actually know them. And some of them sometimes play characters, you know, in general. So it's just like, please be mindful and conscious of it. Like, a lot of them are really kind people, and they're in a game and they're like game focused, and you can't get mad at them. It's like if an athlete is like in game mode, afterwards they're all cool, I'm sure. But when you're in the game, you're playing the game, right? So let people have that same leniency.
And you root for villains, like, so, I mean, I don't know, I do sometimes. Like, if I'm watching football and someone's a bad sport and is like, you know, like celebrating too hard or something, it's like that kind of stuff is funny. Like, you want to watch people like that, like who are into it. I don't know. That maybe that's just me. It's a toxic trait. I don't know. But I think it's fun to watch. It adds a little bit of spice to the game. And I think you're right, Josie. Like, especially without feeds this season, I think there are certain scenarios like a Jackson Mickey, like what we saw in Big Brother 24. Like, that's totally different than what we saw with Ty. Like, it's just completely different. And I see a lot of people comparing him to Jackson. It's just like, we don't know that. And we didn't see any examples of things like we saw with Jackson on the show. Like, I just don't think it's a fair comparison.
Mm-hmm.
If they're comparing him like game wise, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
maybe that.
I've seen people like, the same thing that he was doing to Holly, he's doing like, get out of here, bro. Anyway, so before we start talking about the rest of the season, as we've been doing every single week, I do want to break down every player. So I think we talked about Nika last time. So the last two people we do have to talk about is Daniel and Claudia. So let's start with Claudia. She is our runner-up. She won a lot of competitions, a lot more than I thought she would. She was a really good competitor. She was a part of the Girly Pops and the All Girls Alliance. The problem is, this was all speculation at first. Everyone thought that Ty forced her hand at first, but the more interviews and listening to her jury answers, we're finding out that she actually did plan on working with Ty to the end. So she kind of threw the Girly Pops under the bus. She was obviously gutting for the crown and all those people, and she ultimately did want to work with Ty to the end. So how do we feel about Claudia? Like, was she wrong to think that she had a chance to beat Ty by any means? Like, how do we feel about all that?
She was. How could you think that you could beat Ty at the end? Like, there's no rational thinking that should have ever entered her brain that she had a chance against Ty at the end. I think, maybe the argument of like, okay, he tried to quit, but that was how many weeks ago, and he came back from that and he walked. I mean, he did try to quit. Let's not get it twisted there, but like, he was following Zach's move. So he was just following the lead of Zach, and then he like snapped out of it and was like, it's a game show. And then he walked back into the house and he stayed. So it's not like, it's a little bit different. I just feel like this was a huge, huge, huge misplay by Claudia.
I'm saying this with I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible. When you go on the show, I think you should do your homework. And by do your homework, I mean watch all the seasons, even if it's just of the Canadian franchise. I spoke to her, I asked her if she was a super fan. And she said that she was a fan. She watched the older seasons, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you watch older seasons, there's a lot of showman's propaganda a la Julian and Emmett. Season 2, same thing. John and Netta, obviously they weren't together. They ended up being together after the show, but pretty much a showmance. There's this like history of like pro going to the end with your showmance, and like you shouldn't want to do that. There's always, in a balance of two people, there's always someone who needs to cut the alliance member, and there's one person who never has to. And in this case, it was her. She needed to cut him. Obviously, I understand her loyalty. People value loyalty. I value winning Big Brother. So I probably wouldn't have done that. But, she wanted to go with Ty, and she wanted to stand 10 toes down on that. So I can't even get mad at her. Like, it is what it is. But if you want to win Big Brother, you cut him, baby girl. Like, she should have cut him. She should have cut him. I'm not going to speak on whether she really wanted it or not, but I just feel like maybe she thought, again, perception is reality. So maybe she thought, Ty didn't have a good relationship. Everyone tried to get him out. People are annoyed with him, but that's not the case. So, maybe she thought she had the girly pops. I really don't know what her reasoning was on that decision, but I know that she wanted to be there with him. And so that was her choice. She still won some money. She got second place. She made history, but I personally would not have done that. But then again, I am not playing the game she is. I didn't spend 60-something days with him. So, but I just wouldn't. I don't know why she thought, I don't know, maybe the quitting thing. She did gag him, though, because when she said that, everyone was like, whoa.
She should have brought it up earlier, man.
She gagged him. She said, at least I didn't try to quit. Which I'm like, okay, sister, my bad. Yeah. You're right. But,
I mean, I think that she was really, and this is assumption, but I think she was really like relying on the fact that the Girls Alliance and the girly pops and all that. All the girls in the house kept talking about
Wanting a
wanting
girl to
a
win.
girl to win, you know? So like, I feel like she really had that in her mind. Like, all right, if I get to the end and I fill the jury with girls, you know, like I'll get the win, right? You know, you rub them the wrong way. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like if there was even like a slither of a chance that like you could have got more jury votes. Like when she said the thing about like throwing the girly pops under the bus and all that stuff, I was like, like you're hurting your chances. Like I think people like Jonathan and Hope specifically, like those were probably for the taking, and I think that she really lost those votes because looking at the jury roundtable, they did not seem like they were Ty fans for that time, to be honest. And I'm sure that she probably lost Renee in that situation more than she probably originally did. And you know, it's bad when like the girls that are supposed to be like your ride or dies and rooting for you in the end, like you really rub them the wrong way. So you know, it just the stars ain't aligned basically for Claudia. It didn't really work out, but it is what it is. You know, like
I'm
she got second place, right?
I mean, I'm glad that you mentioned the jury thing because I can tell you everyone was like cringing every time. It was like, like when Kuzi stood up and said, "Girl, why should I give you my vote after you've done a list of things to betray me?" I don't know. I don't remember what she said, but I remember looking at Tanah and going, like, it was just like, I think both of them honestly didn't do the best job with their jury
No.
roundtables. I was like, at some point, I was like, you know, this could go either way because I
Yeah.
was like, these answers are not giving what they're supposed to
Yeah.
give. But I could tell there was like more of like a physical like reactions from a lot of people when Claudia was saying something. And I think the issue is that I think the girls would have respected if they stabbed that, like if she went against them head on and not
Mhm.
behind their back. I think that was the kind of the theme I understood, at least with them two, is that like, you know, a lot of people respected Ty because it was like, okay, he was like on deck, like he was saying it to your face and he was keeping it in a buck and blah blah blah. And it's a game, and obviously maybe the social game behind it too, and the friendships he made, you know, it was, there was a lot of respect. A lot of people were like, well, he was going against me, but he respected me. And I think maybe that's where she lost them. So I think maybe, I don't know if she should have been more remorseful, which is unfortunate because I don't feel like you need to be remorseful if you're at the end, but kind of cater to them because the jury management wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. So I don't know.
I think with Claudia, just like watching her play the game, it felt like she was in the moment. She was making a lot of decisions that like maybe made sense, but not really to get her to the end to win. And she didn't really have a lot of foresight. Like she wasn't thinking about the consequences of her actions. She was just doing things. And it just didn't feel like they made sense. And she wouldn't have had a good way to explain the reasons why she went against Shania. Well, I mean, she didn't really have an option to go against one of the girly pops in that week, but she should have put Ty on the block. Like that was her mistake there. So I don't know. I think she made a lot of missteps, and I think she lost a lot of votes that she could have had along the way because of the missteps that she made because they weren't necessary to make
Yeah,
those moves.
she gave a lot of whiplash now I think about it. Like her on and off with Ty, and then her like with the girls' alliances and then the girly pops. It was just like I think it was so inconsistent the entire time
Yeah.
that, like, you know, like at one point you think, oh my god, her loyalties are to the girly pops. It makes sense. And then it's like, no, it's not. It's just, I think that's what happened. I think there's just a lot of confusion as to what's going on. And maybe that wasn't explained because there's such thing as being adaptable. You know, she could have pulled a Sandra from Survivor and been like, as long as it's not me. But if she would, you know what I mean? Like that's also a valid gameplay. I mean, we call Sandra queen all the time, so
She
obviously
is a
it's
queen.
valid. Exactly.
The queen.
Lurk. Exactly. The queen. But I guess she just didn't explain it that way. That's what I mean. Y'all need to, if you're gonna be on Big Brother, please let's take a public speaking class. Let's take a persuasion class. Because if you want to win, you got to plead to the jury. Let's never forget that. Let's never forget that. Okay. Thank you.
I'll definitely say something that I really think that she didn't think about. Oh, I had such a good point and I just lost it. I'm so sick. Whatever. If it
So
comes back
sorry,
to me, it comes
brother.
back. Oh, I had such a good point. I'm pissed. Okay, I remember. Okay. So something that we really didn't understand originally, like we thought that Shania like told her to eliminate her. We're finding out that she didn't. So like apparently Shania felt some type of way about that. Now I'm like, why did you keep Renee over Shania, especially since you're making all those deals with involving
Literally
Shania.
the week before they were going to turn against Renee and work with Daniel and Anika, and then she kept Renee over. It just didn't make sense. Like a lot of the things, it didn't make sense.
Competition, so
right.
Yeah. So I thought that was a little bit, but it's okay. Shout out Claudia. She's second place. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. She still got a check at the end of the day. I can't. You know what I mean.
And lastly, we could talk about Daniel.
Rob.
So Daniel, I felt like I'm not going to call him Tommy Bracco because he's not, but he's his own player. But the thing that I want to compare him to Tommy Bracco, and it's not an insult actually, because Tommy honestly ran that season for a majority of it. What I'm saying in comparison to Tommy, Tommy had Grateful, Daniel had The Crown, right? Neither one of them were like the leaders of the alliances, but they were in it, and they were in like the middle of the nucleus, and like no one's going to vote them out. The issue with both of these players is that they both have the social capital, in my opinion, to really just keep your allies around. You can really like kind of run the show and shape the game into the image that you want. Unfortunately for both of them, they let both of their players kind of like, fall apart. Like someone made this analogy. I forget who it was, but like it's like driving a car and then watching the car break open, and then like eventually like you're just there with the seat, and then there's nothing else. Like that's how I feel about it. And crazy enough, just like Tommy Bracco, Tommy had A. Jackson winning competition. Look, guess who Daniel had? A tie winning competition. So like unfortunately I feel like both of them were in great alliances that easily could have ran the game. Unfortunately for Daniel, the Crown completely failed in their endeavors, and now granted he was in theory one competition away from potentially winning, according to him. Like you're saying, a lot of the jury were telling him that he could have won if he got there. I actually believe him, but I feel like that was always going to be an issue for Daniel. I don't think that, if it wasn't going to be Ty, then it was going to be Claudia. If it wasn't going to be Claudia, unfortunately, Anika actually came in the clutch down the stretch when they really needed a win, because I think Anika and Daniel would have been split up the week before as well. So it's like, unfortunately, as much as people on social media want to say that competitions don't mean anything in Big Brother, all three factors, social strategy and competitions, all matter. Competitions are very important. If it's not the days and the weeks, like knowing all that, if it's not the physical competition, all competitions matter. I don't care what anyone says, especially in the end game. And I always thought that was going to be a problem that Daniel ran into, and fortunately it was. So how do you guys feel about Daniel's game?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that Daniel was put in a house with Ty, because he came in second place so many times to Ty that he really could have won if he didn't have someone that was truly just like one of probably the best competition threats that we've seen in a very long time, of maybe if not all time. Like, I don't know if you think about,
I think he broke the record.
Yes, he broke the record.
Yeah. So it's like, that was just a bad draw, I think, for Daniel in casting, because he just didn't have a shot, and he was strong in a lot of those competitions. He just not strong enough to beat Ty, which not a lot of people could have been strong enough to beat Ty, I think, at the end, especially. So, Daniel had a really great social game. I also think Daniel was put in a situation where he was playing with a lot of people who weren't familiar with the game. So I don't know that they probably would have respected what he did in the house as much as maybe a cast of other people who were fans would have respected what he did in the house. So I think it was just unfortunately a bad draw for Daniel, but I would love to see Daniel come back for some kind of an all-stars or returnee season, because I think he has a lot of potential. It made me laugh when Rachel Riley was there, and he was clearly the only person who had any idea who Rachel Riley was. That really made me laugh. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it was a bad hand for Daniel, unfortunately, but I think he's a great player. I think he has a lot of potential. I mean, back a couple of weeks ago, we thought Daniel was going to win the whole thing, because he was playing what it seemed like it was a really great game of just laying low. It is unfortunate that the Crown flopped extremely hard. It's like as soon as they became the Crown, it was just like week after week, one person would go home from the Crown. So I think if they could have made it further intact, then I think that also would have given Daniel a stronger leg to stand on at the end. But his alliance fell apart almost immediately.
Yeah. I mean, he was also kind of to one of the main contributors to the alliance falling apart, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
making the side deals and all that stuff. You know, like I think Kuzi clocked that really early on too. That like she was like the third in the alliance, and all the side alliances with the girly pops. And you know, it was going to catch up at some point. So, what are you gonna do? How you feel, Josie?
I think the exit interview with Daniel gave me a lot of clarity. I mean, I think I was kind of still on that wavelength, but honestly, I genuinely believe with my heart of hearts, had Daniel been in final two, he would have won. I that's the reaction I got from jury. I think I've seen
Over Ty?
Yeah, they were devastated when he walked out. Devastated. Like Renee, Shania, obviously. So here's my logic. Hope and Jonathan would have voted for him regardless, and Nika would have voted for him regardless. That's 3 out of 9. Renee and Shania, to me, seemed like they were leaning towards Daniel as well. Kuzi, I'm not entirely sure against Ty, but you know, Daniel's argument, especially if he would have gone with Claudia, I think he would have won. But his arguments to me made the most sense, but that's also with my background and what I enjoy watching as well. So you know what I mean? But ultimately I genuinely think he would have won. And the jury was telling him like you would have won. Like you had my vote. I don't know if they were just talking in the Claudia context or just in general, but that was also the impression that I got. So in terms of his gameplay, I mean, Daniel did what he needed to do except win. And again, to your point, Katie, like I said it to him, I was like, you can't even discredit your physical game because you came in second almost every single time against Ty. Like, had Ty not been there, had he suffered an injury, I don't know, not trying to wish that upon him, but like I'm just saying, like, had any circumstance variable happen, he would have won a few of these challenges. So he can't even say that his physical strength wasn't there. He had the physical, he had the a little bit of the physical aspect. I don't know entirely about strategy, what moves were his except for taking time off the block, but the social game was there. We saw him blossom or transform into a social butterfly, and it was insane. Everyone, everyone, everyone had nothing but good things to say about Daniel. And that's the whole point of the jury. You want people to like you and respect your game enough to give you the win. And that to me is the most important part. Obviously, you know, we talk about the 3 elements, but to me, I think social, because it's a social experiment, social game takes precedence over everything else. Because if you have a great social game and you're able to like manipulate people into doing your bidding, regardless if they're winning or not, i.e., Kevin from last season, you can win. You don't necessarily have to win entirely. And that was going to be his argument. Whether or not the jury respected that, I don't know. But I think they would have definitely, rooted for him to win. A lot of them, at least. I don't know about Santina, but yeah. So I think he could have won. I think he gets another season. Depending on who the cast is, he could win. But I think he played a good game. Obviously, the detriment of the crown was another thing. But after talking to him, I figured out that he Kuzi was also making side deals. So
sure,
he found that out as well, and he was doing the same thing. So you can't really get mad at someone doing the exact same thing as you. You know what I mean? So I think it would have been powerful to see him talk in front of everyone.
I also think he would have done amazing at the questions.
Yeah, I think he would have killed it.
But I do want to say, I really do think that out of the 3 factors, I don't think one factor is more important than the other. I will say that, especially if all right, you look at this the last season, Kevin obviously amazing strategist, but even if in other seasons, let's go to US, Taylor Hale, I think that she definitely won because of her social game and the ability to flip people from disliking her. Or if you want to talk about competitions, Kevin Martin definitely knew what to win, when to win it, you know what I'm saying? Or even Ty definitely, I would say the competitions more than anything got him to where he was. So definitely I think all 3 are important, but I do get what you're saying. Also looking at comments, Janai, this is wrong. Because Kuzi was not the only one in the crown to get an H switch. Because Anika, she did win one. Anika won it.
That was way after. It was
it
only
was
her and
still the
Daniel
crown
left.
now. It was still the
Well,
crown
more the
now.
shady bunch, really.
They would have been gone if it wasn't for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's
it
true.
was still a thing. Okay, so we talked about the final three. So I guess we could start talking about the season altogether. So how do we feel about it? This is our first official Big Brother season in a very long time, obviously, with no live feeds. How do we feel about that? Was it worth it? Do we want feeds back? Can Big Brother survive without feeds? Did it hinder your viewing experience, or did you get along just fine? How do you guys feel about it?
I think so. In the moment watching the episodes, it was a weird experience for me because when I watch Big Brother, I'm like in it. I'm like, okay, it's Big Brother season. I'm following along on Twitter. I'm watching feeds. I'm reading and watching updates in different places. It's like, it's consuming when you're a big fan. This, I was like, well, there's nothing to really watch. There's the dailies, which I've been pretty open on this podcast that I didn't really watch the dailies. I think I watched one. It was like a lot of fluff, nothing really that interesting. It was stuff I would have turned the feeds off for or switch cams if I was watching. So I was like, I think I'm just going to watch the episodes. I watched them late most of the time. I didn't catch them live because 7 p.m. is not easy. So it was just a weird experience for me as a Big Brother fan that really likes to be in it with the community. But the episodes were good and it was fun and it was chaotic and the cast was a mess, but in the best way. And it kept us guessing every week. So it felt like a good season to me. But then when we spoke to some of the players, and I'll bring up Renee, I feel like I got the most out of the exit interview with her because I feel like she really shed light on things that happened that we didn't see. And that made me really say like, oh, we really don't know what was going on in this house. Like we really don't. So when I think back to it, I'm like, what they gave us was good, but I want to know what really was going on. I wish we got a chance to see some of those fights uncut and actually happening on the feeds. Like those are the best moments on the feeds when like, you're like, oh, someone's going to go blow up the house, or like Vanessa's going to approach that, or like Kuzi's going and yelling at Zach. Like we want to see that. Granted, the feeds probably would have been cut in Canada anyway for that. But, I hope that they reevaluate the decision next year in Canada if the show is renewed, which I hope it will be. And we get at least like limited feeds. If it's feeds, I just want it to be feeds. Like I want it to be something live. I don't want it to be edited. We'll see. But I don't think the viewing experience of the episodes was bad. And I think the season was fun. Like, I think the lack of feeds really did, I don't know. I think I've said it before. It felt like when you go back and you watch old seasons of Big Brother that you haven't seen in the moment, and it's fun, but there's a lot that you're missing. Like I still had a really good time with this season and I enjoyed it.
And it was tough because I will say, oh, Josie Josh will be back.
Uh-oh.
I will say, I feel like as a fan, like the show was really fun to watch for me, right? Like, no shade to anyone, but like, I actually enjoy watching Big Brother without the cancel mob for once. Like I get to see like Zach act like a cracked person, and Ty talk shit, and all this stuff. It was different. I was able to watch it without the cancel label being put on everyone, right? But as a fan, I do want feeds back because not even just Renee, seeing Ty with his exit interviews. I watched the one on Reality Kingdom this morning, and it was really good, or like even the one with Josie. I'm like, where has this Ty been? I haven't seen this Ty at all. Hearing him, granted it's Zach, but him and Zach talk about their perspectives with the whole Lettergate situation. I'm like, it makes me think, how did production not see this? Like, because now it makes me think, all right, maybe you guys weren't watching feeds the whole time. You guys are being a little lazy. But even with that, I don't like dailies. I tried it for a good 2-3 weeks and I just had to quit. It was tough. But the dailies were actually very misleading. They would show us a lot of stuff, and then the show would come on, and I'm like, all right, so I just wasted like 2 hours of my life watching dailies that have nothing to do with what's actually going on. So I just completely stopped watching it. Even with the dailies, like they weren't even fully edited. They were like chopped up,
right.
But it's crazy that like, all right, there's something that people are talking about that you guys don't want us to see, it's actually better off to edit that part and skip ahead instead of like, you know how like in on feeds they'll like switch the camera to something else, like people like cooking or something. They were doing that, but on dailies, I'm like, all right, so like this is like
Like, why
crazy.
even show it?
Yeah,
You're
and
hand picking the footage. Why even show it?
yeah, and the worst part was, you know, like sidebar, like obviously because you know we signed NDAs to like when like these special evictions are coming up and you know like double evictions are coming up, someone's already out the house and we know about it, we can't say nothing, we honor it obviously. But then you know a daily comes up on Monday and the whole world already knows that someone's out and they know
Yeah,
exactly
that was
who.
weird. That was
And
weird.
I'm just like, so what's the point of me doing this? You know, like if everyone else is gonna find out, you know, it's just kind of kill my mood at times, you know. So I'm just, the entire special evictions being exposed on dailies. I'm just like, what's the point of special eviction if we know what it is before the show even comes out? That ruins the surprise factor. You know, you know, just nitpicks. But I do hope they reevaluate and bring feeds back. And honestly, if they don't, just stand on it. Don't give us dailies. I don't even want dailies at this point. Like, shout out to the page BB Extra because
oh my god, yeah, kept us
they
going.
actually kept me going for a while. But like even like I said, the dailies weren't showing me anything relevant. So like I didn't even try to pay attention that much, you know. So it's either give me feeds or at this point just don't give me anything. You know, I'm perfectly fine without it if you guys are going to dangle it over us. But we want feeds. Just letting y'all know that.
We want feeds.
We want feeds.
The one thing I think hurt the show for me more than not having feeds was the fact that the episodes were Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because if we don't have Big Brother on the weekend and we have like almost an entire week between Big Brother content outside of the dailies, I know there were not dailies on every weekend. It just totally disengages you from the experience of being in this show that like the point of the show is to be engaged with it at all times. So you already took away the feeds. Okay, fine. But having the episodes all like congealed into one, like, you know, and then 7 p.m. is just a terrible time slot. Like, it's just rough. People have work. Like, people are still, you know, we're eating dinner. We're living our lives. Like, give us 8 p.m., 9 p.m., whatever. That's fine. But I think that almost, for me, took me out of it more than no feeds. Because that airing schedule was just rough for me personally.
Now the no dailies on the weekends definitely kill the momentum a lot. Like especially the Zach quit week was so crazy. Oh, actually, take it back. The Vanessa calling Zach out, then Zach quitting, big. Like I was like, this is like top tier Big Brother, and then I have to wait like 4 or 5 days,
and then
for
nothing.
Stuff, and I'm just like, I don't care anymore. And then all right, cool. Satina's secret HOH. You know, she's having fights with people. Boom, like I'm hype again. Now I gotta wait 4 or 5 days. I'm just like, all right, I don't really care anymore. You know, like we already know the nominations by Monday. And you know, like we didn't even see what happened leading up to that. It dailies. You know, I'm more angry at dailies than I am them cutting the feeds. It's crazy, you know, because the way it was pitched, I was like, all right, like I'm like, you know, it's not fees, but it's something. But the first few weeks, so like we weren't getting them at consistent times. You know, we weren't really being shown everything. Just do away with dailies. Either give us or don't give us at all. I'm not a dailies fan. That's my rant. I don't know if you have anything to say, Josie. I'm sorry. I can talk about this forever, but
it's okay. You're having a Josie rants moment. That's fine. I honestly, here's what I feel like. I feel like I can only speak for myself. I'm gonna be invested in Big Brother regardless. I've been doing it since I was 12. There was no shaking me. Obviously, it is disappointing not having feeds. You kind of wish you did, but ultimately, I mean, it's a part of the experience, and it's unfortunate, but I would like feeds, but I'm not going to beg for it. I feel like if you're all in for the season, then you'll do your homework, and you shouldn't have to. But if you really want the entire experience, you'll go see the exit interviews. You'll go listen to the podcast, blah, blah, blah. Because that's when you're going to get the most insight, in my opinion. That's when we got the most insight. Every time we spoke to someone, even earlier on in the season, like I remember talking to Roberto and being like, oh, what? And it was like, that's so much insight that we didn't know. And I was like, whoa, like, I'm glad that I'm doing the interviews. I mean, before I was doing interviews, I was watching interviews. So it's just like, I would have been invested regardless, and I would have done anything to get all the tea because I like this game so much. Obviously, I know that some people aren't willing to go the extra mile and try to do that, but it's like if you want the whole experience, if you want to hear more, if you're really aching for it as much as you say you're aching for feeds, I feel like you could take also the steps in the measurements to still get that insight in the game that you may not have with the produced episodes. Do I think the daily feeds and our interviews cover everything? No. No. But even then, like, it's like, I just feel like you kind of have to roll with the punches. And this is it. I'm sure once the US season airs, everyone's going to start complaining about feeds. And then everyone's
yeah.
And then people are going to come out of the woodworks. Well, you complain about feeds anyway, so why do you want the Canadian version? I feel like you're doomed if you do, you're doomed if you don't. So
yeah, go on, I'm sorry.
I miss the feeds. Obviously, I feel like I got more of the gameplay, but I'm going my extra miles to get all the tea I need. Okay, so it's like, it is what it is. I still love the game. I still appreciate the game, and I still watch the game, even though the schedule's a little weird. I do agree with that. That one, like, I really have to go out of my way to watch.
Yeah,
and it's usually like pre-recorded or on global.ca. And even then, when I'm trying to watch it, they don't post it right after the show airs. It's not like a Paramount Plus thing where you can just like get it right after. No. You got to wait a few hours. And then it's like if you have Tuesday, you miss Tuesday's episode and you have work the next day.
Yes. That's me. Exactly.
Wednesday's episode. It's like, well, I haven't watched Tuesdays. And then you don't watch either. So
yes.
I feel like a lot of it, I think we had a duty to somewhat stay on par, on relevant, but it was hard. It was hard. It wasn't as natural as like, the other schedules. Not to say that 7 p.m. is a bad time slot because we've always done 7 p.m. I think on Wednesdays because of Survivor, but all of them being 7 p.m., some of them being 9, some of it being 8.
After Survivor,
yeah, it's weird.
It's a little confusing.
No, I'm not gonna lie. This was, I feel like they pushed it back because Survivor is aired on Global. I'm not gonna lie. This was actually the palate cleanser this year. Like, I think, no shade to Survivor. Like, I actually enjoyed watching Canada More Survivor, which was interesting.
Me too.
But yeah, like, even like specifically Endgame, like I was struggling to find a reason to tune in the episodes, and it's not just Canada because US has this problem as well. There just needs to be a different way to make the Endgame more interesting. But with that being said, usually I have feeds to like, all right, well, if I want to see something cool, but you don't have that, so it's just kind of like you guys said something about like this felt like a long season. We had like 3 people leave. Like this is not a long season at all. So it's like the fact that it felt like a long season, it really wasn't. Is crazy. We had 2 doubles as well. Like this was not a long season.
Triples though. That's a big for the king.
Well, that's probably why. Yeah.
Well, yeah. They were dropping like flies, but still, that's like I'm sure someone in production was like, damn.
I think the thing that probably was a little salt in the wound was that last season's feeds were incredible. Like everything that happened last year was just like, are you seeing what's going on? Like, I can't believe that we are watching this actually unfold live. The Gummy Bears, Kyle Moore's HOH, Kevin's entire game, like everything was wild last season. So the fact that we came from such a high and we were like, oh man, Big Brother Canada's the better product at this point. I mean, we did come off a really great, well, it was tough to watch, but it ended great. It ended great with Taylor winning, obviously, but like we were like, okay, palate cleanser now. Hopefully it'll be less toxic. We're excited. And then we were just like, oop, no feeds. That's a bummer. But I think what was even more frustrating is everybody who, I mean, we got some comments. I know, Isaiah, you were talking on Twitter about how great the season was, and people were like, how much are they paying you to say that? I wish they were paying us to say that it was a great season. Like, I wish they paid us for anything. I wish anybody paid us for anything. We're just doing this because we have fun with it. And it's, I just like the people on Twitter being like, this isn't Big Brother, this isn't Big Brother. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, we get it. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to be screaming about it all over every week. Like, we get it. You do you, we'll do us, and like, just relax about it.
I have people like final 5 still announcing that they're not watching. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, we get it.
It was
then why are you talking about it?
It was always when the season, like something crazy happened, like the Zach week, everyone's talking about it. Satina's fighting, everyone's talking about it. Vanessa blows up Zach's game, everyone's talking about it. Why are you guys still talking about that show? Like, please.
You're still
Because
talking about it too.
I made a tweet and
You're
I
gonna hate it.
bookmarked it, and it was crazy. I made a bookmark, and I was like, all right, like all these people saying that they're not talking about it, I'm going to be bookmarking this to see if we talk about this later. But I tell you, half of those people who weren't watching it were either watching it or following it on Twitter or live
Yeah.
feeds. I'm like, you guys are still contributing this, because here's a crazy thing. And you know, this is a little rant, but here's the real tea. 9 times out of 10, most of y'all are from the US.
Ooh,
Yep.
You guys' views don't matter. I'm so sorry.
It's true.
Like the social media interaction doesn't mean anything. It does not make it money. If it's not getting views, who cares? We don't care. They don't care about how many tweets it's getting. They don't care about like who's podcasting about. All they care about is the TV views. And like you guys buying like a VPN, because I saw people flexing about that. Buying a VPN, they don't make any money off of that. So it's like, I feel you, and like it sucks as fans. Like I want live feeds back more than anyone, but like, come on, like announcing, honestly, announcing you're not watching it is giving it promotion more than anything. Because if you stop talking about it, then they will probably be more obligated to listen to you. But like, I saw more tweets about people talking about how they're not watching it, more than people watching it. Like,
and you're still
guys
talking
kept
about it when you
relevant.
do that. You're
Yeah,
you're hashtagging it. You're still talking about it when you do that.
I never adjust the Twitter community, but like, my God, bro, like, ugh. But anyway, go ahead, Josie. I'm sorry.
I mean, about the Global, if you would like to put me on your payroll, I will gladly. But
Me too.
I currently do not reside in the Global payroll. We're doing this because we like the show and we enjoy the show, and we still want to talk about the show regardless of what happens. So obviously this season is live feeds. Last US season it was about racism, and people were saying, well, I'm not going to talk about this anymore because of racism, and we still stuck by it because we do think it deserves its place to be talked about. You know what I mean? We've always been like this. This is not new news for Silent Podcast. You know, it may be news for some of your favorite podcasters. I don't know. I'm on my business and keep it within my cute circle, but we've always been like this. So it's not about the payroll. It's, we enjoy what we do. We love the show. We love the concept of the show. And so we watch and we tune in and we say what we say and we mean what we say, period. Whether or not you want to watch the show, that's your prerogative. But let us do us, and we'll do you. And let's just keep it at that. If you don't like it, mute the hashtag.
I was just about. I don't actually fault anyone for not wanting to watch it. Like, I actually respect a lot of people. Like, shout out Mel Brown. He stood 10 toes. But you know, we had squabbles this season, but like he stood 10 toes. It's like I respect anyone not watching it for like a stance. Perfectly fine. Like I support you on that. But like everyone else, like if you're not gonna watch it, like really don't watch it. I saw like I'm not watching it, but you're still talking about like live feed updates and stuff. Like, you know, just like it just felt, I'm not going to call it clout chasey, but it felt clout chasey. You know what I'm saying? But that's not even like, I mean, I guess it is a part of the season review, you know, like this.
Yeah. It was a big change.
It's a part of, it's a part of the experience, you know? So, you know, it is what it is, but
we'll do whatever we can with whatever they give us. You know, we had fun. I don't think there's any point to come on a podcast every single week or day or two times a week or whenever and just like complain about no feeds. Like, let's just work with what they give us and
like, don't get
enjoy
mad at
it.
me for enjoying the show.
Yeah, like let us have fun with it. We had fun with it.
Like, come on,
we're gonna engage with what they give us. It was a really fun season at the end of the day, and it delivered. Like, yeah, we don't know the full story about what was going on behind the scenes, but we enjoyed what we got. So
my fear, because like, I don't know if y'all saw Big Brother 25 is getting extended. Like they're getting pushed back to like August, possibly because of the writer's strike or whatever.
I think the writer's strike.
If 25 sucks, that means some people potentially waited almost like an entire year for Big Brother, and it could be horrible. Like, that's a really big like risk that you're playing with right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, more power to you. But like, I do not want to hear anyone complaining if it's not good. That's all I gotta say. I just don't want to hear it.
I will say the last time we had a writer's strike and Big Brother US happened, it provided one of the best seasons ever. Big Brother 10 was during the writer's strike, was it not?
No,
I think Big Brother 9 was during the
that
writer's strike.
Horrible.
I retract.
Well, it might have also been if it continues into the summer.
Yeah, it was good.
But 9 was the winter season that came out because of the writer's strike.
Well, let's forget 9. I'm talking about 10. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, someone will fact check me, but I'm pretty sure that was also part of the rating strike because they had no twist or anything like that. Like it was basic. It was basic Big Brother, and it gave what it needed to give.
Yes.
Let's get back to the basics, okay? Let's stop doing the influencer thing. Let's get back to basics.
Let's cast another Rennie Martin.
Let's start casting people who give what they're supposed to give, not people who want followers. And let's just have a good kiki. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Like, why do we always have to do, but then again, people complain about people being hot on reality TV, which is a whole other conversation, that Survivor incident.
Yeah, that was a weird.
That gave me the biggest ick.
Yeah, that was a very weird Twitter situation that was happening the other day. Like,
if you want to watch hot people be hot, watch Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
Love
Island.
I'm just saying,
Love
like,
Island. Like,
the rare Rennies or Karen being on, like even Karen. She's on.
We stand Karen in this house.
But you know what I'm saying, like that's my gripe. But like, yeah, actually, I do want to talk about that because there was a lot of, as everyone will say, broy guys. Like, there was a lot of people just super built. Like, this was a very built cast, and it's fine. But like, what are we doing? Like, can we cast some different people? Like, I felt like last season specifically, we're taking a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
With like different, like I don't, and I love having black winners as many times as possible. I'm the first person to tell you that. But Kevin wasn't even black. You know what I'm saying? And he was different. Like, I felt like I was watching, like, obviously he's not Dan, but like a Dan, like something different. Like, I've never like seen something like a Kevin in a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, even if you take it the season prior, Ty was the winner, but like, we had Spicy V. I haven't seen a Rachel Riley like person in a very long time, and they gave us Spicy V. They gave us who else? Braden was very different. I like Braden.
We saw Jed
even
use the veto on Beth.
Like, we got even different.
Yeah, Beth was a mess.
I felt like this season definitely felt like Kiefer too. I like Kiefer.
Oh,
this
yeah,
season, Latoya. Like this season felt like a step backwards a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I like the chaos more than anyone. That's what really kept me in this season, because the strategy was not keeping me here, the social game and comps were not keeping me here, because every comp was like sponsored, like the
they
chaos.
were campy. Those comps are camp.
The Brita competition was fun to me. I mean, it was sponsored, but I enjoyed it.
That's fine. I like the one where they were like rolling tires and stuff. I thought that was funny too. But
or like the vacuum one.
I mean,
Shark.
I like the first one, the Kevin puzzle. That was pretty cool, I guess. But
all over this season.
All over.
He was everywhere. We love Kevin,
guy.
but I just thought it was fun.
Yeah. But like let's go back to like casting some different individuals. Now, I mean, granted, we've been saying this for a minute. Like, we have to have all-stars next season, right? Like, if they don't do it, what are you guys doing at this point? Because this is the perfect season to go on at this point. Like, I'm like, I hate to say this, I'm not going to name drop anyone, but Kuzi, Ty, and I mean, I don't see anyone else, but Kuzi,
Daniel.
Ty,
I think Daniel's
I don't
a
know
lock for an all-star season because he's a good player.
He was the DR king this season. Let's be serious.
Yeah, I think Daniel.
I hope so. I hope so. I don't know if they will, but I think Kuzi, and if they want Ty, could be a lock. But Kuzi is taking some people's spots. Like Kuzi is about to rob some people's spots to be an all-star. We can talk about the off stream, but
I mean,
like it's just like it's time for all-stars. It's 12 seasons. Come on.
They have a bench, they have a good bench from season. Even there's people from season 8, even though that was a mess and it didn't exist for more than like 3 weeks.
Who forgot his mom is.
I know. I think about that all the time, that he didn't recognize his mom. Like, there are people they could bring back.
I know him from. Like, I don't remember on competitions or nothing. Like, it's just really strange. I will say, during the finale, when they were taking those alumni shots, some people were talking about all-stars out loud. They're actively pre-gaming. They're actively pre-gaming from the things.
Get to work. I love that.
I said, really? We're just someone just won.
I mean, look,
Literally just crowned the winner.
I'll take, if it's not all stars, I'll take this too. Just no winners, second chances.
Yeah, second
cool.
chance.
I'm cool with that.
I would rather a second chance.
Me too.
But I want to see Kevin, so no, I want to see all stars. So, but yeah,
I
no, I
don't want to see Kevin. I'm scared. Like he did so.
They're gonna get my man's, bro. It's crazy.
I know. I don't want to see Kevin get eliminated early.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Okay. Is there anything else we do need to talk about? I don't know if there is.
I think we need to talk about. I think we need to talk about the fights because there's a lot of them.
I mean,
Well,
this was Big Brother 10 levels.
You know, week 1, like
this is BB 10 levels. Like, imagine if we just had like one strategist. Like, this is BB 10 levels of chaos. Like, I loved it. I loved it a lot. Made me very happy.
I liked all of the fights. John Michael versus Santina week 1. Like, that was such good television. I mean, the boys going after each other, that was fun for me. I enjoyed it. For once, the men are going after each other, and I don't have to sit here and watch a men alliance run it all. I loved that. That was good. That was a first. Santina and the waffles. That is so
that was
Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like that is so silly. Waffles.
I loved it.
I don't want you to eat your cooking anyways, and then push it. Like that is so ridiculous and minuscule in the grand scheme of things, but it caused such a big rift. Like, I don't know if they were talking to each other in the jury. I really don't.
It was like, Zach's gonna go home, and then you're next.
Yeah.
Listen, Lettergate was like must-see TV in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, that's single-handedly one of the best episodes of Big Brother of all time. Like, awesome. That was just so awesome. Man.
I will say this might be like a little random, but I feel like it encapsulates the season. Zach being at these like live viewings. I'm sorry, it's a choice because everyone boos, everyone.
It's embarrassing.
Potatoes. No, it's actually horrible. It's actually horrible. Yeah. Imagine just sitting there and people just booing your presence. Like, it's going previously on Big Brother, and every time they see you, you're getting booed. And then to make matters worse, Vanessa dragging you on national television and then being in the same room as a bunch of people are
I saw that video. Yeah.
So funny. Like, you're making choices. I guess like all of us.
And like going on the podcast to explain yourself. Like, I get it. Like, I'm sure he's a fine person in real life, right? But at the end of the day, like, you quit, bro. Like, come on. Like you had to know this was coming. Like, you can't just go every week at this point and be like, the integrity of the game.
This dude's still talking. The game is over, and he still last week had a podcast.
The guy that you wanted to quit with you ended up winning the game. Like, this shows you like you didn't need to quit my guy. Like, I don't even think you would have left. Like I'm
right,
sorry.
you could have stayed. It's a mess.
I've been saying, stop bringing people with money on Big Brother because they will quit. I've seen this too many times. Bring on some broke people. Bring on some
get people who are scrappy. Like, this means opportunity for them. A lot of people come on and they're like, well, like, this is fun and cute. Like, I get, like, no, get people who want to win. Whether it's
we don't need a Gabler, okay?
Money. Come on.
Not Gabler.
Inflation is up. The girlies need the money. You could cast the right people. I'm sorry. Inflation, cost of living in Canada right now is ridiculous. So I'm just saying that
everywhere.
Be here, like
BB 25 is delayed till August. Yeah, we saw that. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Oh yeah, they were talking about possibly. We'll talk about All-Star, celebrity, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, like the fights are crazy. Like I did enjoy that. It sucks because I feel like Santina is not going to get an invite, and I feel like she's so fun. But we already have a spicy V, bro. Like I'm sorry, like we already got someone in that chaotic role, and now like there's just so many people. I don't know if Santina is going to get that invite, but I really feel like she should, and it's killing me. I actually wouldn't even mind seeing Renee back, but like I feel like she's not going to get an invite.
She was a good character on the show. Like, she was a little, the Butte thing got really old. The girly pops was like a lame name. But she had a good head for the game, and she was like, she was a good character.
She was clapping back. You know what I'm saying? It was different. Vanessa completely blowing up Zach's game. Really paid. Like, that was crazy. Yeah. I'm blowing up the game.
She's so mother because she did that and then she dipped.
Yeah, and then she left.
I know it's for personal reasons, but she's so mother for that. I'm so sorry. She said that man was running the season. Let's keep it a buck. Vanessa did us a service, okay? That man was running the season. And she said, Rob, he's plotting against you. And Rob didn't even want to believe it. Rob, listen to me. He's plotting against you. Like, she woke it up. Like, we don't give her enough flowers. Like, she's so queenie for that. Like, she ate. Yeah.
This season will be good on a rewatch, like on a binge. This will be a good binge season because it was a mess. It was a mess in a good way.
We like messy. Let's keep it a buck. We don't like to be in the mess, but we like to watch the mess. Okay, let's keep it a buck. That's where we stand. Okay, and so this season provided that, and obviously it would have been it would have been even another level if I felt like there was more strategy and more social gameplay that I could see. Not that there wasn't, that I could see, and that it would have been top 2 seasons. Maybe
like we got people saying that this is like the worst. I'm like, come on now.
Let's be serious.
No.
I'm so sorry. Season 4, I've met one of the PAX bros. Very nice person. Season 4 was absolutely hot garbage. Absolutely hot garbage. Like, season 8 barely even happened. So it's like you can't say, come on, let's be serious. 11 being the worst. No, be serious. Let's be serious.
I get like the quits probably hurting people. Like, okay,
people quit. I'm sorry. It's like the new
I was okay with it. Like
season 7, like didn't 2 people quit as well? Like,
listen, the drama that we got for it, I was okay with it.
It was worth it. It was worth it. You know what we get when we don't have a messy season? Big Brother All Stars or whatever. Big Brother 22.
Yeah.
Like that sucked. That was so boring. Yeah, did we have strategy? Sure, but like. That season sucked.
We had a bunch of pre-goals.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's just so funny. Everyone's like F Santina, F Ty, and everyone loves Ty. Everyone loves like this season was very cracked, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm so scared to watch 25. Like, what if we get a boring season with another big alliance steamrolling to jury, and then we have someone just comp their way to Like, I can't take that. Like, US needs to get there. That's a conversation for another podcast. I just can't take another season of like, and no shade to the last 2 seasons because I love my Cookout Alliance and I love Taylor, but like you got the leftovers and the Cookout are also a part of that new age big group alliance pushing to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like this. Like the last 3 seasons of Big Brother Canada have given me like, all right, like even if you are in a big alliance, it's another big alliance to combat it. In US, there's a big alliance and then everyone else is just waiting to get eliminated. There's usually like, all right, you got the Sunsetters versus whatever the other alliance name was called. Or you got this season, you got the Girly Pops versus the Crown. Like you have factions. Even last season, they had 2 alliance names. I don't remember their names, but
even not, they just also had chaotic people like Kyle.
Last season was fluid, let's just say.
It was like give me people who are not boring. Like I like US just does something where it's just not clicking. Like Leftovers, they broke up. Obviously, it was for very problematic reasons, but they broke up, and it went from there. But like I just miss just people actually wanting to do something. Like even Shania, she was not the biggest character of the season, but like she even came out of nowhere and started winning stuff, and like everyone trying to force her to use the veto, she's like, no, I'm gonna do what I want. And like I love like Canada cast people who actually care about themselves. Like I'm not used to that, Claudia, but like I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying? So give me more of that.
Whatever they're pumping into the house with the oxygen in Canada, we need to get some of it in the US.
I will say I want to talk like I probably missed the episode you guys were talking about tonight, but she was on my draft. I did say she was confusing me, but the fact that we didn't miss feeds, she apparently was in the middle making deals with everyone. I have to salute. I have to give respect where respect is due. I know I probably missed the podcast where we were talking about her, but I just needed to give her a shout out. There is not one single person on this season who was not playing a game. Whether or not we saw it, that's a whole other story. I mean, goodness, I'm still trying to figure that out. But
I don't know.
Aside from him, everyone was playing this season. Whereas, like sometimes I feel like US, the word furniture is as well, live and well. A lot of furniture on the cast, good looking furniture. But again, if I wanted the summer of romance, I would tune into The Bachelor, Love
Yep.
Island, whatever else is on there. Like it's just, I just wish. I think what they need to do, US. You know what? CBS direct production, listen to me clear. When you put them into Quester, all of the recruits that you put in there, no more BB16. No.
Yeah.
No more. Cut it out.
I think they've been
Give
last
BB
season,
10. Give
that's
BB
what they
6.
did last
Give
season.
BB
I think
7.
I'm
since they
sure
got
they're still
Netflix,
putting
I think they gave
16 out
10 and
there.
14
I
because they got
think
it on
they're
Netflix
okay.
now.
still pumping out 16 energy. I feel it in my bones. And no more 16. No more 16. Start casting people who are a little, give me a Remy. Give me even a Michelle. Give me people who are
Yeah.
just a little out there. It's okay. As long as they pass some of the checks that you guys have to do. If they're a little out there,
That's what we
put 'em on,
want.
put 'em
We
on.
want a Rennie. Give us I'm begging for Rennie. Hopefully if we get All Stars, we get Rennie back.
I'm just
It's
saying,
not
like,
happening.
apparently Gary
campaign for
wants to
her.
be on All Stars again. I'm like, sir, how old are you? Jeez.
She went on she went on Dylan Andrews' podcast. It's
Rennie?
I think CBS claimed it or someone claimed it and it got taken out. So I think it was CBS. But Dylan, he had and this will be short, he had Rennie and he had Sheila from Big Brother 9 talking about All Stars 2. And they were just talking shit about Cody and just talking shit about everybody
good.
the entire
That's so
podcast.
good.
It was so crazy.
I'm
But
a Rennie
she's still watching, man. She shows up to I've seen her at a couple of Oz's events. Like I saw
that's
Monica
so
before
fun.
from Big Brother 2. She apparently still wants to play.
I would love
Like
to see her.
people, they're still around, man.
She's
They're
so
around, So, but Big Brother ain't going to take no risks. You even got Jerry's ass talking about he still wants to play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jerry
That's
was.
a liability. Let's be
but
real.
he's too old.
Yeah,
but,
that's a liability.
Apparently, he's saying he's still fit as ever.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Jerry. I don't know.
But we're getting past BB Can. So I guess my last question. So who do we, I've answered this already. Who do we want to see back from this season if let's say next season is All Stars? From this season.
I feel like mine's gonna be a hot take, so I'll wait until the end.
Mine's because I already know Kuzi's getting an invite. So I'm gonna say Satina. If they can make that work, I want Satina because I think she's very funny. Like she was when she had sarcasm and she was like, "Congratulations!"
That was so funny. That was so funny.
Congratulations! I was like, yeah, you ate that.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Are we only picking one?
You can pick as many as you want.
Oh, I'm picking.
I do want to see Daniel back. I think Daniel is the gamer of the season. I think he could do really well with a different cast, and I would like to see it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. When we spoke to Jonathan, he was the nicest man on earth. He doesn't give good TV, but I think he's going to get a call back. And give me Hope back. He was a chaotic mess. Let's see Hope. No, I want to see Hope.
See, he's a nice guy, but I don't think he wants to play again. He kept talking about wanting to quit the game.
He kept us on our toes.
The amount of damn times he got himself nominated. No, I just can't. I can't do that again. Like I like Hope. That's the problem. He stresses me out. I can't do that again. Like he ruined the crown. The crown.
I know he was a mess.
Crown. I can't do that again. No, I can't see.
And JM, give us JM back. He needs a better chance.
That was what I thought. I personally love me some John Michael. Okay, I want to see John Michael back. I think he got eliminated too soon.
Me too. Shout out to John Michael.
I want to see him back. Obviously Kuzi. I would love to see, honestly, Kuzi, John Michael. I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't cast Santina again. I'm not like I don't think I have a strong emotion to Santina, but I think she would be good TV regardless. Honestly, I want to see Renee again. I think Renee loves the game. And I don't think we got to see enough of her and that side of her, which I think is heavily to do with the edit. Like, I think, we kind of just saw her be dead last, whatever. But it's like, I think aside from the bouteilles, I think she had a lot to offer and we just didn't see it. So I would love to see her come back, Miss Law student. I don't know if she will. She's trying to get her law degree, I think, or whatever. Congratulations to her, by the way. secure the bag. But like, I would love to see her again. Mm-hmm.
My last thing, because Bruce in Survivor just got, he got medically evacuated the first episode.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert, but they bring him back for 45, and he's going to be in Survivor 45 to actually play. So if they can do that here, give me them all. I want to see them all play for once,
Bro.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, we
Is
didn't
my
get a chance to see
favorite-
anything from her,
Bro,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
She was my first draft pick, and I still stand by it. I don't care what happened this season. Every single person
Yeah.
I drafted this season, I have no qualms with. I stand by it, even though I lost. Congratulations to whoever won. I don't know. Who was
Lance
it?
won.
I can tell you guys right now.
Did Lance win?
Lance. Mhm.
Yeah, Lance won. Yeah,
That's all. First and only time.
which is crazy. Because let me see. Well, just to recap. So my team was Kuzi, Hope, what's this guy's? Oh, Zach and Renee.
You were standing Zach, and now you don't even remember.
Mhm.
his name.
Oh no. I'm my team specifically.
Katie, I remember. I was
I
there.
said Team Good TV and Team Chaos. Everyone on my team gave me that. Kuzi, Hope, Zach, and Renee.
Yeah, you had a good
what
team.
I was out for.
You got Team Entertainment. Yeah.
Katie, your team was Daniel, Rob, Claudia, and Jonathan. Josie, your team was Amal, John Michael, Shania, and Dan. Yikes. And then Lance's
I don't
team.
stand by Dan.
And then that was your last pick. And then Lance's team was Satina, Anika, Ty, and Vanessa. So you know what? Lance did pretty
Lance
good.
had a really good team.
He had a pretty good team. He did
Mhm.
pretty
I
good.
feel like Lance's team was chaos.
And we
Yeah,
was coming
Team
at him
Chaos.
too. We said that you're not winning.
Yeah, I know.
Well, to be fair, I don't think we thought the season would play out the way it
Yeah.
did. So
you won last year. You are officially passing the crown to your rival, Lance Richard.
Let's
And
not-
next time we talk,
Who won Big Brother
Lance is like
24?
my cousin.
Big Brother 24?
We didn't.
Josh.
Our whole team didn't like.
Oh, Josh did.
Josh.
Yeah. He don't count. That's non-canon.
Because if I was there, I
Non-canon
would have drafted
draft.
Taylor. Don't play. She was
Yeah,
my
okay.
pick.
Who did I pick?
What
I
do
wasn't
you-
picking Taylor first.
Well, it
first.
was dire. We did it 2 days after the
Yeah.
season started, and it was
That was
dire.
tough, man.
Yeah.
I don't even
wait, that's
remember.
True. You guys said yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have been too. Yeah.
Oh, I hope they don't do that again. I can't do that
Yeah,
again.
that was rough.
All right, is that it? We good?
Yeah, we're good. This has been
Alright.
fun.
All right. Thank you everybody for checking us out and spending the season with us. This is our third season together, finally completing. Yeah. If you want to check anything out, obviously check out all of our social media platforms. You can check out us on our audio, rate us 5 stars if you want to. There's not even an argument. 5 stars and no stars, okay? And you can follow us on all of our social media pages. Check out Josie's interview with the Final 3. We're trying to get some deep dive interviews. We're talking to Kuzi. We're going to try to get that figured out. Also talking to Ty. Maybe Daniel if he responds to me. But we're gonna try to figure all that out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging out once again for another season. Josie, where can people find you?
Yes, y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram on JosianeXNM, JosianeXNM. I am excited to announce that I will be starting a YouTube channel officially.
Yes.
Woo! Funsies. The first video is about my behind the scenes experience this last week with Big Brother and all the things that came with it in Niagara Falls. There are some fun videos out there that I'm excited to share with y'all. Some may include your favorite Big Brother players. I don't know. So check that out. Stay tuned with my social media, and I will be posting there. We will be covering Big Brother US whenever that comes out. Keeping my eye out on specific shows, so hopefully you'll keep hearing me this summer podcasting about a few things. But if not, I tweet about it. So follow me. That's it for me.
How about you, Katie?
Yeah, you could follow me on Twitter at RealSlimKatie. You could check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealSlimKatie with an underscore at the end. And I'm popping in and out of places on podcasts. Our Real Housewives podcast is in a little bit of a hiatus while Carrie is being a boss in real life. She doesn't have time to be a boss on podcasts right now. Same with the challenge. So, we'll just, like Josie, I'm keeping an eye out on what's out there. There's a lot of chaotic reality TV, I think, to come out of this writer strike. So maybe you'll hear me talking about some of it.
Yes.
All right. And like usual, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers. This is off season. As we said earlier, we probably not getting Big Brother till August. It is what it is. But like usual, I'm gonna be doing a lot of bonus content, so more edited videos. I saw you guys, a lot of you actually hung out with me during what was the stream? I casted a cast for Big Brother Second
All Stars, right?
Chances.
Or
No,
Second
second
Chances.
chance. That was very fun. We did a Bring It Steel and everything. The views are doing pretty good on that one. So we're going to do more of that. Me and Lavina, I'm sure we're going to do more ranking streams because you guys love those as well. And I'm playing on some collabs with like Ethan Mal, Peridium, a lot of other people. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. And if there's any shows that you guys want us to cover, obviously, if it's not just us three or anyone on Silent Podcast in general, you can make sure to add the Silent Podcast account and let us know. But this, like I said, this is the dry spell season. So we're going to be trying to find stuff to cover. But if not, we're going to make bonus content. But all right, until next time, or hopefully a deep dive. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.